Welcome to another episode of Wait Again Minute Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May the 5th, 2022. So last night we had on Miss Miranda. She's out of Louisiana, and we kind of had a little technical difficulties. But today we're back and we're ready to let everyone know what's going on with both of her kids, actually. So Miss Miranda, how are you today? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain at all.
You're right. Thank God for that.
So, so tell us a little bit about the issue with your kids that happened day before yesterday. Now,
Okay, start from the beginning, which was with two of my kids. Keith Robinson. He's supposed to have been had an attachment for probation.
okay,
And so he had recalled a court date to go to court, which was today. So he didn't know that they were looking for him.
okay,
When he go to court, they was going to handle that in court. So when the officer came, well, they passed a couple of times and they stopped and they said, "Did someone call, the police? Or are we trying to see who called the police?" And everyone was saying nobody.
right,
Came back the next time and he said, "Well, did y'all hear a shooting?" And it was like, "No, nobody heard a shooting." So
mm-hmm,
seen him in the background with the people, and he was getting ready to walk off and go to the corner store, which is up the street. And he
okay,
said, "Hey Keith," he said, "Come here. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about something. Come see. I want to check on you." I'm assuming. I think that yeah, that's most likely what he said. And then Keith was like, "Well, what you want?" He said, "I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing." And as he was approaching Keith, walking up to him, Keith was backing off, getting ready to, I'm assuming, to run. And he was like, "Well, don't do it, don't do it." So Keith run. He took off running behind Keith, and Keith saw him approaching him, and Keith started running too. So as he was running, he ran behind him and he was tasing him.
mm-hmm,
Stop him. When he ran through some trailers, came back through the other side and came back on the street. But he came back on the street, he had both his hands up to surrender to them. And at the same time, I'm assuming he's thinking, okay, I know I have to go to court. I know I have a warrant, or I may have a warrant. But if
right,
I have a paper here stating that he recalled this court date, which was for today, why is he still having an attachment on him when y'all could have handled this when he came to court?
correct, correct,
So they were arrested him, and they approached to get put him in the vehicle. And as they were doing that, they were handling him a little rough. So my daughter started videoing it, and she was like, "Why y'all handling him like that? You don't have to do him like that." So as
mm-hmm,
she was recording and videoing them, she was not close to them to say she was tampering with no evidence and that she was doing them anything harm. And I'm assuming the officer was really upset. He was already, probably had already had some things going on, and he approached her to run after her. And when he ran after her, she ran because she was scared. I guess I'm assuming I run too. She was scared, and as he approached her, he didn't stop her. Try to put her say stop, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest for tampering with evidence or anything. He approached, he ran after her, and she ran. And when she ran, he got that much close to her to take her and slam her into this trailer, punch her 3 or 4 times before she hit the ground, and a couple of more times on the ground.
wow, yeah. I actually saw the video, and I'm gonna put the video in the comments. I didn't want to upload it because Facebook is so. I see they're going through this thing now. They're taking out people videos for that video.
Yes.
Um, so I'm gonna put it in the comments once we're done.
Mm-hmm. But
But
my thing was, when he did get her down to when he did get to her and grabbed her, he didn't have to slam her to the trailer. He could have at least, even if it was a little aggressively, got her down to the ground, put the handcuffs on her, or called his fellow officer, which was a female. He didn't have
hmm
to like she was trash, like she was a human being. I'm like, where was the remorse? Where are the rules to this?
right. Yeah, definitely. I just by looking at the video, I don't see where he would have thought that he had that right to even put his hands on her at all. You
Yes.
know, we all have the right to record.
Yes.
um, Maybe he felt like, she was recording because of his behavior, but that's something that he has to take up with himself. He doesn't
Yeah.
take the law into his own hands.
Yes.
And So what's going on with the case now? Is she still incarcerated?
Incarcerated, and they're saying she's being held on some another charge, which one of the charges was dropped. It was a misdemeanor, and then I think it was another charge that they're talking about. But I'm pretty sure I even myself have I've known people to go to jail and get court dates that for charges that were not that bad, misdemeanors, maybe not a felony, and they don't
Right.
be on one case is taken care of, a couple of cases are taken care of, and you're still holding her on something that is a misdemeanor in another parish. I'm not pretty sure the other parish has will sign over a release, another court date, but pretty much most of the time that's what they do. So I don't know what they're holding
Right.
on, what's going on now. We're still trying to figure that out.
Okay. So she had an attachment of the body as well. A case in another city.
Yeah, it's misdemeanor charge, so I'm pretty sure
Okay.
they sit over a court date. So, like I said again, I don't know what's going on now. We have somebody over there going to see what's going on with it.
Okay. So what's going on with the officer? Have you guys went down to the police station? I see that they released the body cam, which
Yeah,
actually goes along with what you guys said.
we went over, but only the newscast went in, and NAACP they went in. We never had a chance to do that. I guess we're trying to wait and see what's going on with Mary Lee. I don't know what's the next steps to them or whatever they have for us to do. That's what we're gonna do. Just follow,
Okay.
see what happens.
Okay. So it was a lot going on that actual day. I seen a lot of people actually out there recording as well. Another
Yes.
young lady was recording.
Yes, well, the camera pretty much tells everything. You can say what you want, but when you have
That's
video,
right.
you have footage. That's what matters.
Right. That's absolutely correct. Now, is the officer on administrative leave or anything, or do you
He,
know?
he is on duty, maybe on a in another little area or something. That's what on the news says. He's still on duty. He's not getting into anything, as of yet with him. And
Wow. So,
that's really hurtful. I mean, something needs to be done about this. Not just saying because of race and all this other stuff. People look at that a different way. We're not looking at it like that. We're looking at this is abuse. And if you did it
yeah.
to my daughter, who's next? What is
Right.
done next? Well, somebody has to be murdered on this street for y'all to see that this is a problem, that y'all have problems with some officers. Not all officers are bad. Not all officers
Mm-hmm.
are bad cops. But when you have
That's
those
true.
out there that is bad, you need to get rid of that problem and put it and get to the bottom of the situation.
That's absolutely
Cover
correct.
up and cover up something that's that bad.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely correct. I think that, I don't know what part of duty he's on, but I think he needs to come off the street because, who's to say that won't happen again to somebody else? And for the safety and security for the public,
Hmm.
yes, he needs to come off of the street.
Yes. Because if that's a female, what happens next? Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I know. I'm not gonna say I think he handled it inappropriate. He may not think it, they may not think it, but we see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congregation sees it, and it's not right. It's not fair for us. Maybe one day we want to call somebody. Might want to call the police, and maybe too afraid to do that. What's gonna
That's
happen when here? We don't know.
that's absolutely correct because they are there to protect and serve, not
Yes.
to take matters into their own
I,
hands.
if you want to detain her, fine. You do that. Get her down.
Hmm.
Put her on the call your fellow officer. She was a female. You let her do that.
Right. Yeah. So have you actually spoken with your daughter? How is she doing?
I haven't spoke to her. I've spoken to her partner who let me know what was going on because when she called, it's only 15 minutes and we're not
Hmm.
around that close. We're close around each other, but not within 15 minutes. She would probably get to me, the phone would hang up, and then she would have to call again. So I haven't talked to her, but basically I've been getting information from her through her partner when she calls.
Hmm.
She's not feeling too well about, she's not feeling too well, but she's okay, but she still is in pain.
Right. And I understand that she's a diabetic too, correct?
She's a diabetic. She has high blood pressure. She deals with acid reflux. She throws up a lot with some things. Most of the stuff that she eats, she's severe diabetic. She takes the shots a couple of times a day, twice a day.
Okay. So has she had her medicine and things since she's been in there?
She said they gave her insulin, but it's not the insulin that she takes. And I'm not pretty sure she's getting medicine. They might be giving her pressure med. I don't know what they're doing. As of now, I don't know what kind of medicine they're giving her or what she's taking. But I know she said that they gave her some insulin, but it wasn't her kind of insulin. They don't. Most jails don't even have your type. They either have to order.
Right.
It takes a week to get it, and I'm not even pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure if she's taking it, if they gave it to her, or how they giving it to her, or what's going on. What I don't know.
Wow. So where are you at with it with all this is going on? Because not only do you have one child that's in jail, but you have two now.
I pulled up at the end point when they were doing this with Mary Lee. I seen all the other information on footage with Keith. It's not that I didn't interfere. I just stood back and I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want them to try to arrest me as me standing there, and I wouldn't have been that close. It doesn't matter how close you are. They feel if you're saying something that they don't like, and if you're too close but not in their range, they still feel like it's a problem. Like you can't justify what's going on or record what's going on. Like you don't have the rights to do nothing.
Right.
That's not
Yeah.
fair.
It's not. So how are you mentally dealing with it? Like where are you at with it? What's going through your mind?
Mentally, and it's mental and emotionally is stressful to me. I'm dealing with some issues myself with my high blood pressure, and
Right.
stuff. Then I'm dealing with her two kids that I have to keep under control because they're stressed out. They haven't been to school in 2 days.
Right.
I'm having issues dealing with their emotions and how they feel, and they can't focus too much. But I'm dealing with that.
Yeah.
She have a boy and a girl, and I'm dealing with that issue as well. And I have to go get the homework and everything else and help these kids. And every time I see this, it's just heartfelt to me. And sometimes I can't even sleep because I
Yeah.
just seeing this. It's not nothing I've seen on TV. It's actually stuff I've seen with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Hard is hard. It really is hard. So I'm holding my composure. I'm holding it as strong as I can for her kids and for the love of my children. I'm holding that
Right.
for them. Because
Right.
if I fall weak, how strong can they be?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And and they definitely need somebody strong at this point right now, especially on the outside.
yes,
Um,
so that's
but
where I'm at right now.
yeah, but you are human, so you're definitely going to have your time with it.
Well, I've had my moments, but it
Yeah.
was by myself because I don't want to see them. I don't want to let them see me break. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
let see me break, then I'm controlling them from breaking because they're already breaking. And if I'm controlling me, and I have to control them too.
Yeah, and that's a lot for one person to handle.
It is. It
It
is.
is. Now, what do you hope happens to with the issue with your daughter and the officer? What is it that you want to see happen?
I hope my daughter. I mean, I would like to see her seek justice in whatever way is possible, and
Mm-hmm.
that they look into his situation, his background, and see what's really going on with him, and that he resigns. That because I want him to know that you can't just walk in this world and do these type of things to nobody, know where you work at. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what color, what race. It doesn't matter because if you're that type of person, anybody can get it. It doesn't
That's
matter.
it.
And basically, that's the way it goes. Because if you're out there to protect and serve. You're not out there to be abusive and then cover it up and keep doing this to somebody else until you actually kill somebody.
Right.
They have good cops, like I said, and bad cops. They have cops go to jail for their wrongdoing. They have cops don't go to jail for
Don't.
their doing. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. If it was us, we're wrong, no matter what.
All the time. All the time. Now, I read that she has like several charges. Like, where do you think all those charges came from?
So, well, basically, if she has charges in another parish, that's another situation. But
Right.
with this,
Mm-hmm.
all the charges they have on her, I don't see where that comes from. I think that most of them are lies, and it's just to cover up their actions, and it's something they have to put there to protect them.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
Now do you know that the female officer, if she made a statement or anything yet as to what she saw or encountered?
I don't know what she made a statement on, but my comment to her was I actually spoke to her face to face, and I was like, "Well, what? You arrested my daughter, but what were the charges that she was arrested on?" And she told me only tampering with evidence. And here my daughter goes to jail. You have all these charges on her. Where did they come from? When I specifically asked you in front of other officers that you were out there with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what you told me. Well, as of right now, I see she's charged with tampering with evidence. I said, well, what evidence did she tamper with? She didn't come close to your vehicle. She was on a recording because you have a right to record if you want to. You have the freedom
Right.
to speak. And if I didn't touch you, if I didn't hinder you, and if I didn't come close, close range with your what was going on with you, why should it be? Why should she be charged for that? Tampering with evidence, and the what was it? Abuse with the officer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You charging after me? You're running after me. You slam me into the wall. If I throw my hands up to defend myself or move my leg and it looks like it's kicking towards you, I'm defending myself because you're punching
Absolutely.
me down to the ground. She didn't do this to you before you punched her. She's trying to defend herself and block whatever you're doing. And I would do the same thing.
That any I you know I think anybody would have done that.
Oh yeah.
Because again, once you it's okay to assume something, but once you see the video, guys, like you'll see the dots have definitely connected.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that this mother is saying is actually was caught on the body cam.
Yes.
So it's like,
I mean,
God, like how long do you think you can
no
get away
lies.
with this?
It's no lies. Even if I
No.
wasn't telling the story right, they can see what's going on. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
my best to tell exactly what I've seen. I don't have to lie about nothing. I mean, like I said, I only seen what happened to my daughter. I didn't see everything what happened to my son. Now, I understand if my son had a charge that he had to go to court on, which I knew that he was on probation and
Okay.
he had to go. He had missed court. But my thing was when this court date was recalled, which was is on this paper, as of
Okay.
today, he had to go to court. Y'all arrested him yesterday. He hadn't had a chance to get to court. So this should have been handled when he went to court. Now, if he missed court, then y'all should have came out here and aggressively arrested him like you wanted to. But
Right.
if y'all let him win as far as going to court to make another court date, and you didn't arrest him in that courthouse, why would you want to do him what you did him yesterday?
Yeah. Because that actually is what caused this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because of them arresting him, attempting to arrest him on yesterday. So
And
how
what
was he
I
doing?
like about that was they didn't even say, "Well, you're under arrest. Um, put your hands behind your back. Oh, Keith, come see. I want to talk to you. I want to check on you, man, and see how you're doing." That's not how a police supposed to. That's street talk. That's the way
Yeah.
guys talk on the street. Who your friends or who you know. That's not coming
Mm-hmm.
from an officer who's trained, who has proper training.
Right. That's absolutely correct. So how are the your neighbors and everybody doing since that incident? Because it looks like a lot of people were out there
Yeah,
and appear to be upset.
they are, and everybody has their opinion, but most likely sometimes you don't want to get involved, but you have your opinion about it, and you just look and listen. Neighborhood is very quiet now. You know, you don't hear, but you can see the
Mm-hmm.
emotions on people, and if they see me or whatever, they will come talk to me and tell me how they really feel about it. It's emotionally drained because it's almost like we living by how they want us, what they want us to do, how they want us to do,
Mm-hmm.
what we can and cannot say or do. And if something happens, no, we're not supposed to interfere. But we can see, we can record, and we can have evidence. And that's not what they want us to do.
Right. Right. So you said that the NAACP are involved. Are they saying what their next move is going to be as far as this issue?
They're not. Well, they're doing a pretty good job, and they're not really saying too much because my daughter's still incarcerated. When she
Okay.
gets out, then I think they're gonna go with their next move, which I'm satisfied with.
Okay, absolutely right. Because you know it's different when she's in there, no
Yes,
telling what will happen. Yeah, so you want to make
yes.
sure that she's safe and secure before they do anything else. Um, is there if you could say something to the police officer, what would you say to him right now?
I would say I hate him for that reason. I have no hate in my heart. But what he did was cold and callous to my daughter. And I'm pretty sure if he doesn't have heartfelt behind what he did, he has a family as well. If something like this would happen to his children, his wife, or his mother, how would he feel? And I think I want him to feel like he should be held accountable for what he did, not feel like he did something that was appropriate and got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be heartfelt behind some things that you do to people and know that you're wrong, not just feel in your mind that you're wrong, but don't take action for it.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I don't think that if this is the way he has to treat other people on the street without thinking before he do what he don't need to be an officer because he's not teaching no one nothing.
Yeah. Definitely. And just like you said, all cops are not bad cops, but
You know,
when you make a when you create a situation like this, it kind of puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth. You know,
Yes.
people are scared and don't know what to do, and and it's one of those situations where you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because,
Yes.
like you said before, if you should need them, you almost afraid to call the police.
And before this happened, I never felt this way
Mm-hmm.
because I always thought that anytime you call them, they come out and do their job. But to see
Right.
that happen, it kind of puzzles me. It kind of puts me in a different, a different mindset about some things. You don't
Mm-hmm.
trust. You really don't.
Yeah. Well. Wow. So you guys have to find out if the other parish will um let her out on bond at least
Yeah, we have
before.
somebody going over there now to see what's going on. But one charge that was already she went to jail on court for was a misdemeanor. That charge been dropped. They had brought that up at first. Then they had something else, like
Mm-hmm.
an accident charge or something. I think they're going to see about that now. But I'm pretty much sure that was paid, and if not, they usually give you another court date to come to court.
Right.
I'm hoping that they're not giving us the runaround to hold her to cover up their actions, because if something is messed up on my daughter, I want, it can be, I don't know what it is. I'm not even going to say it because I don't know what it is, because most likely sometimes if something is wrong with a person, they'll do anything to hold you,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
themselves.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap it up, what would you say to a mother that is in a situation that you're in, to kind of encourage them to keep them,
Don't give
pushing
up.
forward?
Don't give up on your child. And if something is going on, as of this situation or worse, seek
Mm-hmm.
help. Don't give up on them, because that's what they want you to do, is give up on them. And if you give up on your child, they're not going to stop. They're going to do it to the next person and the next person. So somebody has to stand up for somebody.
Right. That's right. That's absolutely correct. Now, has anything like this happened in your parish before, like in you guys area with the
I
police?
mean, it has. It has. One lady stepped up and said that the same cop did that to her, and she was pregnant. She said
Oh
that
wow.
11 of them, and he was one of them. And the news lady asked her, "Well, how do you know he was one of them?" She said, "Ma'am, I never forget a face. You forget a name, but I never forget a face." She said, "He was the one handling me rough. He didn't hear me when I was talking to him. He didn't understand me. And when I got to jail, she said they gave me 11 charges.
Wow.
And one of those, there was two ladies, and one of them was related to me, but she it doesn't live around here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But this was different situations, different time. Another, a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Then I heard another guy pulled up and said he had an incident with him in jail. He said he
So
actually had
he's
some stool at him, some kind of way they got into it. And he said he actually got into it with this same officer in jail. He's dirty. He has
mm-hmm.
hard feelings toward people, and he doesn't care how he treats you. And I
So
didn't
yeah, they
that
yeah,
just
they
pulled
they
up.
definitely have to get him off the street. He got to go off the street because
I didn't
it's
ask.
a repeat pattern.
I didn't ask for that. He pulled up.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on. He seen the situation and he heard about it. And he came down and he mentioned. He just all of a sudden mentioned it. It's nothing we asked him. He did it on the free will.
Wow. Well, my prayers are with you guys, and then I hope that we get some type of resolution soon. My prayer is that you know we share this episode as much as possible so that we can put um more eyes on the situation, because I think that's what happens when other states and other people get involved and they
Mm-hmm.
start putting a magnifying glass on it. A lot of things
Yes.
start coming up. So we definitely want people to share and share till you can't share anymore, because the more publicity that we get and more people are aware of what's going on, then it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard for them to do what they've been doing all along.
Yes.
So my prayers are with you,
I appreciate it.
because you know you're in a hard place right now, but you're strong. you're
Yes.
you-
I'm
you're
kind
you're
of.
definitely.
It's hard, but I'm doing it,
Yeah.
and I do it without prayers, and I appreciate everything and all the prayers from everybody that's praying for me, and that's maybe what's keeping me strong. But it's hard.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I'll definitely keep in contact with you. Like I have your number, and I'll be keeping in contact with you. I definitely want to talk with your daughter when she gets out and gets back acclimated with everything, and just to find out what's going through her mind, because I can't imagine where she's at, you know knowing that what she's in there for, she shouldn't be in there for. Yeah. So, but we'll talk to you soon. I'll keep in contact with you, okay? And I'll talk to you soon.